Welcome to Riviera Rats, a Palm Door podcast. I am Greg,
I'm Bill.
and we've got today a bonus episode.
Do we have a sound for that? I was just about to, "Bow, bow, bow," but that's
I know
Isabel Watch.
that's
We can't do
Isabel
that.
Watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
great, great. Yeah, on brand.
And the reason why we had to hop off our usual monthly schedule of recording to drop an impromptu episode is because we now have, without further ado, a Cannes competition jury, an official competition
2 weeks
jury.
after they were supposed to announce it, so now we have to guess who was not checking their emails.
But this list is good. Like,
It is good.
if this is a plan B list, I'm okay with it.
I don't think it's a Plan B list. I think they were like, I'd rather wait to make sure this person says yes before I move on to somebody else, or somebody was being real fussy about their list of demands for agreeing to be on the jury.
Right, the hotel arrangements and such and
Yeah.
such.
I'm not saying it's Demi Moore.
well,
Actually, I doubt it is, but yeah.
well, let's start there. So, accompanying our jury president, which we've known for some time, which is Park Chan Wook, we have recent Academy Award Best Actress nominee Demi Moore of The
Yep.
Substance fame. She was at Cannes just 2 years ago for The Substance. She got her start in the early 1980s on General Hospital,
Yeah.
then became one of the sort of notorious brat pack of teen stars, famous for movies like St. Elmo's Fire and About Last Night.
St. Elmo's Fire, the movie where she famously tries to chill herself to death.
She tries to kill herself by opening all the windows.
Yes. And
Uh,
rocking back and forth. Oh my god, you're gonna kill yourself! You see, like, what Mayor Winningham screaming at her, and it's like, why is that gonna kill her exactly?
she
And
went
she
on
has
the.
a gay neighbor who always has a daiquiri in his hand every time he opens the door.
Well, why shouldn't he? Andrew McCarthy's smoking in every scene in the movie, including in
True.
hospitals.
Very true.
In the 1990s, she was at one moment the top paid actress.
Yeah.
I believe she had the biggest paycheck for striptease.
Yeah. Biggest paycheck for a woman, I believe.
Despite all her fame, she's never until recently been received warmly by critics and
Mm-hmm.
in film acolytes like of the Cannes variety.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really exciting and feels like a long time coming that she's finally being regarded for the fact that she's always been able to act, despite 7 Razzie nominations saying otherwise.
And an incredible life that started in, like, growing up in a really difficult childhood home in New Mexico, I want to say is where she's from. She's
Yep,
from the Southwest.
yep,
Her
New
mother
Mexico.
once took money from a guy to let him fuck her when she was like 16 years old. Like, it's a dark past that she comes from. And also, you can learn all about it in her book that I can't remember what it's called, but I listened to the audiobook. And she was a powerhouse producer for a long time. People forget this. She produced all the Austin Power movies, as among many other films.
Oh, I do forget
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think the moment where I realized, oh shit, I've been sleeping on Demi Moore, maybe because I always think if they're in bad movies, must mean that they're not worth my time. But then my moment of aha with her was Margin Call, where she only has 10 minutes, but she is gripping in it. She's really intense and weathered.
I always thought she was great, but there were a lot of bad movies. And when you were a teenager in the 90s who loved to go to the movies to watch your ladies, you got really good at appreciating what they were doing, despite the fact that the movie wasn't good, which was the case most of the time. You know, when you're following Michelle, Sharon Stone, Demi Moore,
Julia
Rene
Roberts.
Russo, Julia Roberts. Well, Julia Roberts had a bit of a better track record with the movies themselves, but for the most part, the other ladies, the projects themselves weren't that great. But she was always great. But she is in a lot of bad movies. I mean, Indecent Proposal, Striptease, The Butcher's Wife, The Scarlet Letter. There's a lot of dreck there.
The Juror.
Yeah. One really cool movie though that people never seem to have heard of is Passion of Mind, which is directed by Alain Berlinet, who did Ma Vie en Rose, and it's a movie about a woman who is she's like a housewife and mother in France who goes to bed at night and wakes up a single career woman in New York, and then goes to bed and wakes back up in France and doesn't know which is the dream and which is the real life.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and the movie's not as good as that premise, but it is good. And the assistant director on it, or a PA or something, was a young woman named Coralie Fargier, who 25 years later, uh, offered her a script for something called The Substance.
And the substance feels like it just came out yesterday. Like it feels like it was only a minute ago that
Hmm.
that showdown between Mikey and Demi over Oscar season had happened.
Do you know why, Greg?
Why?
Because you're getting older.
Yeah.
Because I remember being a teenager and like every Oscars was like years away, and then now it's like, oh, are we doing this already? And then like Moonlight was 10 years ago, and it feels like I haven't had a chance to watch it a second time. So yeah, welcome to middle age.
Also joining this jury, a young Chilean named Diego Cespedes, recent winner of Uncertain Regard for The Mysterious Gaze of the Flamingo from last year. It was Chile's candidate for the Best International Feature nomination, but did not receive it. That movie is a sort of AIDS allegory about gays giving people a virus by looking at them. And I've been wishing forever I could get the superpower to give people kidney stones.
It's a really good movie. It's a really cool movie. It's one of those rare experiences where I'm like, Jesus Christ, I have I don't remember the last time I saw anything like this.
Oh,
And there
that's
was
cool.
no way in hell it was ever going to get nominated for an Oscar. I could not possibly see it appealing to the more mainstream tastes of the Academy, but it is a really cool movie that you should see.
Also in our jury, we've got a legend of art cinema, Isaac de Bancole. He's Ivorian. A strangely underdecorated actor who's in every famous movie by Claire Denis, Jim Jarmusch. He's been in both Black Panther movies. He was in The Brutalist 2 years ago. We've
Casino
talked.
Royale, he's a James Bond alumnus.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've talked about him twice on this show, both in Chocolat and very briefly in White Material, which was my personal Palme d'Or of 2009. And he's just wonderful, and he's aging gracefully. He's handsome at his later age. Not to say he's old. He's been around for 40 years, and he's still looks wonderful. And
I don't think any of them looks as wonderful as he does showering in Chocolat, but anyway.
oh my goodness, no, I mean, Chocolat works on the assumption the audience will be attracted to him as much as the house mistress of the movie at its center.
He was pursuing a master's in physics and mathematics at the University of Paris when he was discovered by a director, and he switched his focus and enrolled at Cours Simon Acting School. And that's what got him his start. He was made a Knight of the French Legion of Honor in 2007.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And like another actor we're going to be talking about in this jury, it shouldn't shock me that he has never won anything, because it's not like he's ever excellent, like been the major takeaway from something, but he's always good
Yeah. He
and
also hasn't made a
consistent.
movie where he's like trying to survive as a new refugee and save his son to have a better life or whatever. He
Totally,
hasn't made
totally.
that movie, and that's also why he hasn't won awards. Although he did get a César for the best newcomer for the movie Black Micmac.
That's right.
Yeah.
But speaking of people who have won awards, we've got a very famous screenwriter of Scottish and Irish background, Paul Laverty, longtime collaborator of Ken Loach, who's worked with him on 16 movies,
Hmm.
including both of his Palme d'Or winners, which we will cover in the future, but also of the movies we have covered: My Name is Joe, Looking for Eric, Route Irish, Jimmy's Hall, and The Old Oak. He won a Prix de Scenario for Sweet 16, and uh, he makes really socially conscious movies with Ken Loach when they're good and when they're bad.
Yeah.
I'm a bit
Your
salty.
shoulders sagged when you said that.
I know. It's because I prefer my social realism like Mike Lee, not like Ken
Oh
Loach.
no, he's definitely the white guy yelling at you at the pub, like for sure. But he is also a talented scenarist. Like he constructs a
Yeah,
good scenario, even if they are more or less the same, but he is very good at it. He's married to Isiar Boyain, who was the daughter in El Sur by Victor Erice,
The
the
junior or the older one?
the older one,
Oh,
and she's a
cool.
director as well. And he wrote a film that she directed called También la lluvia, Even the Rain, which is a really good movie with Gael Garcia Bernal. Inspired by, he spent most of the '80s around South America. He has a law degree, and he spent the '80s fighting for social justice causes, human rights violations, and stuff like that in Nicaragua and all over South America. And that's partly what inspired that film. He's been with her since 1995, and they have 3 kids. His first movie with Ken Loach was Carlos Song.
That's right. Also in this jury, we have Academy Award acting nominee Ruth Negga. She is also famous for her prize-winning performance in Passing by
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca Hall, a movie I've yet to see, and I hear that she's incredible in it.
You haven't seen
And
that?
I know I need
Oh, it's a
to.
good movie. Yeah.
And she recently got an Emmy nomination for her performance in the miniseries Presumed Innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Between Demi and Ruth, we are going to be spoiled with red carpet footage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
These are going to be sights to behold.
And if Demi has maintained her relationship with Brad Goreski, which it looks like she has, it'll be exciting because he bedecked her fantastically when she was at Cannes for The Substance. I mean, she was the queen of that festival, and so I look forward to what he's going to come up with for her this time.
Talk about integrity. He sat with her at the Actors Awards. Like, she brings her stylist to her award shows because she knows that he's part of the reason why she's doing great.
Yeah. Ruth Negga was also on the shows Preacher and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and recently also got a Tony nomination for her Broadway debut in Macbeth.
Oh, and worth noting, she is
Stunning.
stunning and Irish Ethiopian.
Yes.
We have legendary character actor of Swedish descent, Stellan Skarsgård. I don't think we can name somebody with a more enviable filmography when it comes to paying the bills, but also getting to do the work you want to do.
Yeah.
He
has spent way more time with Lars von Trier than I could ever stand. So I don't know if enviable is the right word, but yes, a great career.
6 films with Lars von Trier.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
Yeah.
He's worked 3 times with Norwegian director Hans Petter Moland, whose movies I've not seen, but apparently Stellan holds him dear in his heart and feels separation anxiety when he's not working with him.
Okay, calm down.
He was in the famous Norwegian film Insomnia by Erik Skjoldbjerg from 1997.
Favorite of my sisters.
Which then was adapted by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. And not badly. I like the original better, but the remake's pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's been in 2 Pirates movies, 2 Mamma Mia movies, 2 Dune movies, multiple Marvel movies. He's in Andor, and he was recently an Academy Award nominee for Sentimental Value, for which many people thought he was in a 2-horse race with Sean Penn. And then on top of all of that, as if you couldn't have it any better, he is the father of Alexander and Bill Skarsgård, who most people...
6 other kids. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess those other kids don't mean shit then.
He said he had a vasectomy in 2016 because he decided 8 was enough.
Yeah, you think. Yeah. He's great. I think he is wonderful in Sentimental Value. I don't ever leave a movie feeling like he was the takeaway. Maybe because he's not giving a single tear speech ever in a movie. But I think he's always good.
Yeah, he's always good. And also to see him at award shows or hear him interviewed, this is a man who's just enjoying his life.
He's very droll.
Yeah.
And I do love his scene in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo where he puts on Orinoco Flow by Enya while preparing to stab him in the stomach.
Don't forget Good Will Hunting as well. I think that's when a lot of us first got to know who he was.
That's true.
Yeah. Because I think he was in Amistad that same year.
That's right. That's right. I had to look up this person. We've got in our jury Laura Wandel, or Laura Vandel. No, she's Belgian. Laura Wandel. She has 1 major title to her credit, in uncertain regards, competitor called Playground from 2021. It won the Fipresci Prize that year. And she's got another movie coming out this year. Did you find anything else about this person? I feel like I'm not giving her enough.
Well, I read that her film Adam's Interest was in the Critics' Week last year.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember that title, but that's all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the club, Laura. You get to be with a lot of big names, and you're going to be a big name after this.
Yeah, and for all we know, she's also going to kill it on the red carpet. I know nothing about this person. I mean, she's Belgian, so I'm not holding out hope, but you
Oh my
know.
god! And then before we return to our president, we do
Yeah.
have a notable award-winning film director, Chloe
And one
Zhao.
one we don't expect to kill it on the red carpet.
No,
I say with affection.
no, she'll dress like a fucking Jawa. She, we've got Chloe Zhao, uh, winner of Best Picture and Best Director for Nomadland,
Yeah.
nominee for the same for the movie Hamnet from last year, winner two times of the People's Choice Award at TIFF, which tells you about the caliber of movie she makes.
Well, no, I mean, I don't want to say that because I really like Nomadland, and I like her way more often than I don't. I think
Yes.
like her early stuff, like songs my brother taught me. I haven't seen The Rider yet, but like she's really cool and she has a lot of integrity. I don't blame her for paying her mortgage forever by making a Marvel movie, and I don't blame her for the fact that Hamnet's not as good as her earlier stuff because she's just not able to do her usual thing with that movie. She's still going to make great movies in the future. I think she's
Yeah.
very cool. I always enjoy interviews with her. You know, she's super not pretentious and just another person who's just like living it up. She moved to LA when she was 18 years old by herself from
Yep.
China to go to high school there. I think to finish high school there, something like that, and just motivated by her love of Western culture and
She
family money.
she came up in through the Sundance system with
Yeah,
Ryan Coogler. She got dropped from Buffy, and Buffy production went on hiatus. Did you hear about this?
I did, and I don't know. It sounded a bit cagey about why. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Whedon is making a fuss because I think he still owns it.
Yeah, yeah.
He must. I mean, there's no way that he doesn't. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled the plug for whatever reason. There's no way that that guy isn't being an absolute brat about being canceled.
No, he is. He is because the thing he's being canceled about is being an asshole. And what do
Yeah,
assholes do when they're being told that?
but you know, he insulted my Nicole well before that happened, and I wished bad on him, and it happened. So everyone needs to stop fucking with me because
What
the
did he do?
consequences are dire.
What did he do to Nicole?
Nicole gave an interview when Trump first became president, you know, and they're basically feeling out actors to see just how liberal they are and how willing they are to speak out against him. And Nicole is not someone who ever lets anyone in on too much of her private feelings about things.
Yeah.
And all she basically said was, well, he won, he's the president, and we're all just going to have to deal with it.
Okay.
Which actually is true. But for some reason, everyone decided that that made her a shill for the right. And Joss Whedon, in particular, put up a photo of her that he labeled Republican Barbie or something. Like he called her stupid.
Ew.
And I was just like, that's not. Yeah. Anyway, so the fact that he ended up getting in trouble for stuff to do with women didn't shock me.
Hmm.
Because again, people weren't really paying attention to her answer properly. But Nicole Kidman is not on the jury, neither is Joss Whedon. We were talking about Chloe Zhao, who I am very happy to see on this jury, and I'm sure will be a very valuable vocal member of the team evaluating the movies that they watch.
Yes, this is true. Oh, also, it needs to be said, she is a Golden Lion winner.
Yes, that's right. And then we have talked about Park Chan Wook already. Is that
We did very briefly,
okay?
but just to tie it up nicely, the president of our jury is the very first South Korean president of a jury. He is one of three or four of the most famous South Korean exports, four if you include Hong Sang-soo in that list. He's still not been recognized by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Put whatever value on that you want. I do think he deserved a nomination for Decision to Leave. He
But
is
I
a
don't think he deserved anything for no other choice. So like
no,
the people
no.
who are butthurt over that movie are, I guess, just I don't see it the same way they do.
No, it's they're the always park camp, and like anytime he gets shut out, they're going to do
I
that.
suppose.
We talked about him before in our 2022 episode when we talked about his best director win for Decision to Leave. We also talked about him in our 2009 episode when we talked about his jury prize win for Thirst. We will in the future talk about his Grand Prix win for Old Boy, the movie that broke him out. And we'll cover his comp film, The Handmaiden, which I am excited to finally watch one day.
Yeah, seeing as how we've both had it on our list for about 10 years.
I know, right?
And I think I have a copy of it on my computer. His 2000 film Joint Security Area was the biggest Korean box office hit of all time when it came out and
Oh,
remained
wow.
so for quite a while. I've seen it. It's a pretty cool movie. It's a very culturally specific movie. It doesn't really 100% translate over the ocean, but it is a pretty cool movie. It's not actually his first movie, but he disavowed his earlier films and likes to consider that his first film.
And this is why you brought up Nicole Kidman, because Stoker was made by him, and
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
that leads
Yeah.
us right into Park Chan Wook. See,
That's one of Nicole's finest moments. I remember seeing that on the 70 millimeter screen at the Varsity, and there are close ups of her face. And I remember thinking, how can you not be amazed by this woman who can be 30 feet high and handles it like it's nothing?
that rounds up our jury of 9 jurors. We have a full competition slate now, 22 movies full. The last movie to join the list was Paper Tiger by James Gray.
Hmm.
And there are some new names attached to this. I want to say Scarlett Johansson's in it.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm always excited for James Gray. I didn't like Armageddon Time, neither did you, but he mostly hits.
Yeah, and he has never won a single award, so I'm curious to see if he wins anything this time, because he's been to Cannes many, many times, and I wonder if he's starting to get frustrated with the process, or if he's just happy to be there. I don't know. I don't know.
Curious to see what this jury leans towards. I can picture Demi and Park and Stellan all leaning towards something, but then I can picture Paul Laverty and Chloe Zhao going for a poetic realist kind of experience. But then what do I know? Maybe they all have diverse tastes.
What I'm really excited about is the fact that Park Chan Wook is going to have a translator, and she's going to be a very polite, even voiced, lovely woman. So that even when he's in a rage screaming at everybody, she's still going to be translating it in the most gentle, babbling brook words kind of way.
Before we shut this down, this brief bonus episode, I
Hmm.
think we should mention that HBO is copying our shit. They are setting the new season of The White Lotus
Oh,
at
right.
Cannes, and don't think that we're standing down. We're
Yeah.
keeping this thing going
Yeah.
till it ends or we end.
And we demand cameos. Yeah.
Totally. No,
Well,
I demand that piece of trade that Jennifer Coolidge got in season 2.
well, before we do shut it down, I also wanted to talk about the fact that there was an announcement from the Academy last week about new rules having to
Yeah.
do with movies, and I actually found it upsetting. And I don't find changes to the Academy to be upsetting. They're usually actually a lot more benign than they seem to be. Like when they came up with what people thought of as their sort of like woke requirements for movies, which didn't end up actually being the real requirements
But
that
you
people
mean
thought
this
they
is
were.
bad faith?
It's troubling is what it is, and it is connected to talking about Cannes because they came up with three new rules that from what I understand are to be instituted immediately, which is weird if I'm right about that, because usually when they institute something new they always say this will start in 2029.
Hmm.
I think this starts immediately, but I could be wrong. But the one rule is, no AI in movies, which is fine. The Academy has always had rules about technology, and they shift and change over time, and I don't care. Um, the other rule is that there can be more than one film from the same country in the foreign film category. So this is interesting to me because I'd like to know how they're going to adjudicate this category going forward, because
Hmm.
currently it's that every country picks one movie and submits it. There's really strict rules for how they submit it. So does that mean countries are still selecting movies but are picking more than one? Or are we just going based on what plays in LA? And is this going to result in three French movies and two Italian movies every year? Because the thing about the rule as they have it now is to avoid the domination of popular box office hits, and allows for the odd movie from
I know.
Bhutan and Nicaragua to get nominated, which means a great deal to those film industries when it
Hmm.
happens. When Flo won the Animated Feature Award, and it was nominated for Best Foreign Film as well, that Oscar sat in a building dedicated entirely to it, with lineups for miles for people to just come in and see it under glass.
Yeah, I'm worried what this means as well. On the one hand, the Globes hasn't gone in this direction entirely. Like The Voice of Hind Rajab was nominated at the Globes. That's a Tunisian movie, not a huge cinema. Uh, and the good the good faith argument to this is that why only choose between The Taste of Things and Anatomy of a Fall when you can just pick both, and
Yes.
they both are outstanding titles and truly represent the best of world cinema for that year. But I do worry that this means that the Academy and thusly the world will not get exposure to films from the African continent, from South America, basically from the global South.
Well,
Uh,
again, I wonder what the rules are because a lot of movies get a distributor because they get nominated, because they are nominated under the current rules. But
yeah,
now, do they have to be distributed before they can be nominated? Because then that changes things. And then in a few years, we're going to get a lot of angry articles about Eurocentric Oscar nominees in this category and the fact that a lot of countries are being left out. This has been in the works for a long time. Pedro Almodovar talked years ago about how he wanted to change the rules for foreign film, and I'm curious to know exactly how it plays out. I also wonder if this is also because they don't have the, I don't know, the resources or the structure for how, because currently every country submits one movie. That means there's like at least like 80 movies, if not more. You don't have the same group of people watching 80 movies, so you must have to assign them clumps of them to various people. And I wonder if that structure isn't working anymore, if they're not getting people who can be counted on to do, I don't know.
but I also have the attitude that like then don't make the award if you're not going to do the fucking work. Like Cannes looks at thousands of movies before
Yeah.
they pick 22.
But I don't think
You
it's the same people watching all 1,400 movies.
but they've also got the time.
Yeah.
Like you know,
Well, I mean,
like
at the end of the day, no one has the time. But I don't know. I am or is
like
it
it.
going to be a bake off like they do with the visual effects? Like, is there going to be a different kind of short list?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, you and I managed to watch 30 movies once a month.
Yeah.
We're crazier for it, but we prove it can be done. And they only need to watch, like you said, as many movies as there are cinemas producing them
Yeah.
that are putting them forward. Um, what I don't understand is does the cultural delegate of every country still push forward the movie, or can anybody just push them, just nominate their own movies
I
now?
don't know because now they're also saying that the award will go to the director specifically.
Yeah,
Like their name will be on the ballot, which it hasn't been ever before.
because if they do that, then that means you can start giving, like in theory, Rasulov and Panahi awards for their movies as Iranian movies, not as French movies,
Right.
German movies, and that's cool.
Yeah. So
Uh,
then why are we calling it best international feature film? Why don't we go back to calling it best foreign language film since that's a requirement of the category anyway? And why did we change it? How did
I
that
know.
make things more anyway? More troubling though is that they've also instituted a rule where an actor can be nominated more than once in the same category for a different film. This has not been the case since I want to say the late 20s, early 30s. When they made that rule, because in the first few years of the Oscars, you did have people on the ballot for more than one film, sometimes winning for more than one film, but not always.
Yeah, the chick from Sunrise, and I
Well,
want to
the
say
first Best Actress winner, yeah,
Seventh Heaven. Yeah,
yeah, the first Best Actress and Best Actor winner won for multiple films. There were multiple nominees after that. When George Arliss won for Disraeli, he was also nominated for another film, but the records show that he only won for the one film. And then of course they changed it because in the studio days from the 30s, 40s on, you had people everyone was making 7 movies a year. So you didn't want to have a year when Betty Davis got all 5 nominees, right? So of course they instituted that rule. The thing that I find a little bit, and it's partly because I am deeply cynical, I feel like this is a reaction to the fact that there were so many foreign nominees in the categories this year, all of them from Cannes, which is why I think this is relevant to our show. But even if it's not, I don't care because I do find
oh
it very
yeah,
strange. And I think
three from
that,
Sentimental Value, one from Secret Agent. Yeah, you might be right.
and I have a feeling that this is a way to bring it back to being a Hollywood award without being obvious about it. Because if Emma Stone gets nominated for 2 movies, you're not going to have Renata Reinsve in that category. And if Leonardo DiCaprio is also nominated for 2 movies, you're also not going to have Wagner Moura.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Although, again, the good faith argument is that arguably, Angelica Houston could have been nominated for The Witches as well as for The Grifters. And you could have nominated Gerard Depardieu for Green Card as well as Cyrano de Bergerac. I've got 1990 on the mind. And it could have been argued that those truly were of the best of that year. I do worry what it means, though. Like, will it shut out even those Song Sung Blue kind of performances
Yeah.
that radiate in an otherwise mid movie because people just want to all of the awards to 3 actors all the time.
Also, will it be exciting if we know if someone has 3 nominations in 1 year and we go to the show wondering if they're going to win?
Yeah, although they might split the award with themselves.
Who knows?
Who knows?
And will people shut up long enough for the presenter to read the whole envelope before clapping so that we can hear what movie they won for?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that this is going to happen all that often anyway, but still, I don't think that the reasons for this rule change are good ones because I don't see why anyone was clamoring for it in the first place.
No, because more often I don't want an actor nominated for 2 movies. I want them nominated for the right one. Like Kate Winslet should have been nominated for Revolutionary Road, in my opinion. Nicole Kidman for The Others. I don't need them nominated for both movies.
Yeah.
Interesting. Or like Julianne Moore being nominated in supporting and in lead, so she could be nominated for both movies that 1 year.
Yeah.
I do suspect it has to do with YouTube picking them up.
Oh, maybe. But also, is it exciting to see like 3 people instead of 5?
Well, then they'll just increase the nominations to 6, and then it's going to become the Critics' Choice Awards, and who cares?
Right. Because it also, fewer nominees means fewer dresses being promoted. It cuts into the economic aspect of the award show as well.
Yes.
Anyway.
This was fun, Bill.
This was fun. We will be back in a couple of weeks where we have secured our dear friend Nicholas Bell, who's going to give us the wrap up at the end of the Cannes Film Festival. Keep an eye on our Instagram because we'll post whatever we can find, whatever we can share as we hear the buzz about the movies coming out. And I guess we'll see you then.
See you then. Thank you for listening to Riviera Rats.
Our podcast is hosted and produced by Bill Antoniou and Gregory Rosebrugh.
Our music is by Joe Organ.
Our artwork is by Leo Kouvaris.
Follow us on Instagram at Riviera Rats.
Write to us at ratsriviera@gmail.com.
If you want to support our show, tell your friends about us.
Leave us a rating and a review on whatever podcast app you use.